Peace everyone. And thank you for coming back. We were talking about the angels. Thank Allah for His immense blessings upon His creatures, and for sending us His awesome hikmat. And only the minority of His creatures, namely humans, and shaitan, are unappreciative. The rest of the creatures are all submitters. And those who do not believe in Allah alone, and they are happy with their idols, and they do not believe in the hereafter. Disasters come upon these people suddenly, when they are least expected, as the consequences of their deeds, and only the true believers will be saved. Now, here is some awesome hikmat from the Quran. No one knows how thoughts come to our minds. No one knows how we make decisions. You must believe that Allah is the source of knowledge. Why? Because He is the one who created us. Just look at these robots and computers that we are making these days. Automobile that drives itself. Robots who built automobile. Obviously they were given knowledge by humans, in accordance with the permission from Allah. Then they know what to do. But they are not able to come up with any new action, unless we import it to their central processing units. It is the same as in our creation. We have been given certain knowledge, through our DNA, which we automatically use it in our daily performances. Like, getting up, eating, walking, working, and do not play with fire, and so on. The assigned soul, into our body, will learn how to use those body parts, and she will find out the capabilities given to her. Just like that movie, Ratatouille, which was inspired by angels to Jen Pinkava, Brad Bird, and Jim Capobianco. Have you noticed how that mouse learned to pull that young man's hair, in order to control his body parts? These are signs given to us by Allah through His angels, in order to help us to understand His system. Only the knowledgeable ones will be able to comprehend. Then our soul will realize the capabilities of their assigned body. That is how, by the will of Allah, some becomes athletics, some becomes mathematicians, some of us are good with working with our hands, and some of us become a good cook, and so on. And now, the difference between us and robots is that there are angels amongst us who are servants of Allah, and they inspire to us what needs to be inspired, according to Allah's will. And there are jinns amongst us, who whisper to us satanic point of views, in order to mislead us. And also there are some knowledgeable creatures amongst us, whom they are given knowledge by Allah, so they can change our destiny every once in a while, by the will of Allah. Do you remember we talked about Mr. Destiny, in Surah 18? Like that movie, Mr. Destiny. You must remember Shaitan always whispers to you evil thoughts. Although, most of the times he comes to you from the right side, so you think you are doing something righteous. In Surah 77, we read about the angels, who bring thoughts at your reach, and drop on you discoveries, inventions, music, arts, or sometimes dreams. Like the one who was given the knowledge of sewing machine, through his dream. These are all accordance with the will of Allah. Angels are the ones who bring to our reach the hikmat of the Quran. And Shaitan whispers his point of view to the ones who are not appreciative, and have disease in their hearts, while they try to read the Quran. That is why we seek refuge in Allah from rejected or stoned Shaitan, when we start to read the Quran. Allah is the one who makes you rich, or He measures your provisions precisely, according to His will. Most of the time Quran says, being rich and having more money and children, is only a test, and it is only going to bring them more disasters than happiness. Just like this program on TV, Shark Tank. These people are so proud of themselves, to the point that they think they made their money, because of their own smartness. Or just being in the right place, at the right time. Yet, they do not know who puts them in that right place. Although, they are aware of this fact, that no one knows how those thoughts come to our minds. Yet, Allah is the one who is dropping on us those decisions, by His angels. These people are just fooling themselves and misleading people all around the world. Yet we are all going to be witnessed against them on the day of judgment. Unless they refrain from that. These people are working their neck off in order to make more money. At the end of their lifespan, they just have to leave all those wealth which they tried so hard to hold on to, and go into a grave, just like the other ones, who did not work hard at all. You see, all they have to do is to help needy and homeless people. Perform their daily prayers, pay 10% of their money to charity, fast 30 days in a year, and follow the Quran. These are the only wealth that will be transferred to the high heaven, and they would not even taste the death. Every time a thought, or like an idea of a picture comes to my mind, I thank Allah for that thought. As Quran says about that rich man, named Qarun, who was one of the people of Musa. He was so rich, that carrying the keys of his treasures were so heavy, even for a strong man. People told him, "Why don't you use what was given to you by Allah, and seek the future mansion in the hereafter, without forgetting your share of this world?" But Qarun did not listen to those people, and then the next day, the earth swallowed him. Just like what happened a month ago, in Oso, Washington. Did you know these rich people do not want to die? That is why they donate their money in the cause of cancer, educations, saving animals, research and so on. In order to be alive amongst the people in future, because of their donations. Shaitan made thousands of charity organizations, in order to make us forget about Allah's only charitable organization, which would be helping needy and homeless people. The only smart ones are the ones who could transfer their wealth to the other side. And they are only minorities of Allah's servants. And those are the ones who know about Allah's system, by the will of Allah. Therefore, a submitter never complains about his or her wealth. That is why Allah does not like when money comes your way easily. Therefore, lottery and games of chances are forbidden. Allah blessed Albert Einstein at the age of 26, and dropped on him the relativity formula, through his angels. Yet, we are praising, and idolizing, Einstein instead of praising Allah. So is Edison, or Gottlieb Daimler, and Carl Benz, whom we think they invented automobile. Or Wright brothers. It is like we praise computers for their jobs, yet we were the ones who feeded them the knowledge. The angels drop down beautiful stories on humans according to the will of Allah. Sometimes these stories bring to us awesome hikmats, just like the formula of relativity. Like when they dropped down the story of Field of Dreams on William Patrick Kinsella. This classical movie informs us how we get inspirations, or how knowledge drops on us. The writer, who was inspired by Allah's angels, in that story says, there comes a time when all the cosmic tumblers have clicked into place, and the universe opens itself up for a few seconds to show you what's possible. This is an awesome phrase. Subhanallah. Allah is informing us how inspirations drop down on us. Also, you would see in that movie how revelations come down to people so they can hear voices in their brain. Also in this movie, the writer repeats the word God more than 10 times, and you would hear and see so many times of number 19, the secret code of the Arabic Quran. I watched that movie about 57 times. Also in that movie, Close Encounter of the Third Kind, inspired by angels, Allah is showing us how we get inspirations. Philosophers through the years were trying to find the definition for art. After 4,000 or 6,000 years, now, Allah is informing us that we are not the ones who chose art, yet, art is the one who chooses us. Just like classical music came down some 200 or 300 years ago, and ever since no one could have composed one piece of music like those composers. Because that was the era that Allah wanted to reveal to us, the classical music, through his angels. How, a 9-year-old boy, the deaf Beethoven, could have written all those pieces? We think that is because of his brain and his intelligence. But, that is just our own wishful thinking. Or, the beautiful music of Franz Liszt, Tchaikovsky, Mozart, and so on. Do you remember the first revelation to Prophet Muhammad? It says, "Read in the name of your Lord, who created." Allah is the creator of everything. And everything good comes from Allah. That is why they call it classical music. Like the beautiful music of Beatles, which dropped on them by angels. Paul McCartney said that he does not know where these melodies come from. The cells in our body have not experienced a melody like that before. That is why people were getting so excited and screaming and crying every time they would hear their music. But, after they have got separated, they could never have the same melodies anymore. Led Zeppelin received the right inspiration from angels. That is why, when their drummer died, they stopped playing. It came to them that they won't be able to play any more nice melodies without their drummer. You may visit the playlist of this channel for beautiful music of all around the world. Angels are the ones who drop beautiful arts and melodies on us. Not any arts, but just beautiful ones. But now, because we disturbed Allah's balance, therefore, we cannot call today's music as an art. As the Arabic Quran says, Allah wants men to be the leader. In that dancing movie, Take the Lead, the teacher says, man leads. It is the woman's job to follow. And the girl in that movie says, oh, so if he gets to lead, then he is gonna think he is boss. Then the teacher says, no, but he is not. You see, the man proposes the step. It is the woman's choice to accept by following. Here is the awesome part. He continues by saying, now, to follow takes as much strength as to lead. These phrases are only inspired by Allah, through his angels. Only the knowledgeable ones notice them. The other one is that beautiful movie, The Legend of 1900. What a beautiful story, dropped on Italian writer Giuseppe Tornatore. In that movie, the awesome musician cries when he hears beautiful piece of music. So far no one knows that how music makes you happy, or sad, or even makes you cry. Allah has not released that information yet. But, maybe, he will inspire it to someone I know. Inshallah. Or Allah fix the vocal cords for some of his creatures in order to have a beautiful voices. That would be a canary, or a robin, or silver-eye bird, or Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Andy Williams, Lara Fabian, Adele, or Luciano Pavarotti, just to name a few. Thank Allah for dropping on us the music. So angels are the ones who help us with the Quran, and understanding of the Arabic Quran, and by teaching us literacy, and hikmah, by the will of Allah. Ask not what translators can do for you. Ask Allah to teach you the Arabic Quran. Allah says, we made this Quran easy for you. Does anyone wants to learn? That is how we go from darkness to the light, and they take us to places that no man has touched before. By the way, ask those translators why they do not perform their contact prayers in different language than Arabic. Surah 37, the arrangers, is about the angels as well. By those who line up in rows. By those who repel firmly. By those who recite the reminder. There are angels who line up, in rows after rows, to perform their duties. As they lined up, with believers by 1,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 invisible soldiers, to go to war against their enemies. Do you remember those invisible soldiers, who helped Muhammad? The angels even help you, with as little things as, where did I put my keys? These are not myth, or fairy tales from the past, or imaginary movies from Hollywood. Yet these are scientific facts from the Quran, which answers many of our questions. Now let us see the ayat of the Quran, peace